Oh, wow. I didn't break anything. Okay. Where's the... Hey. Hey, what's up, Ace? Okay. Okay, the meeting is started. Uh, we're live on YouTube and also I just posted links in Slack and it's 4 minutes past. And it's interesting that I don't have to admit people. Or do you folks click to admit people? Maya, Ace, do you?
Yes,
What did
it is.
Oh, you do it, okay. Because I was afraid there's no security in place. Okay, so I'm your host today. I'm Łukasz. Based in Poland. And Tuli asked me to run the meeting, hoping that it's gonna be done professionally. So let's try. Because if you don't know yet, Tuli is absent. Tuli is a New Yorker at the Open Source Week in United Nations offices or
oh,
She's
headquarters.
global.
global baby?
She's global.
She's the global princess or the queen, actually. So, what do we have in the agenda? Oh, Jesus, she put so much in the agenda. Come on, Tuli, give me a break. Okay, so let me share link to agenda, or actually let me share screen. This way you're not gonna have to look at my face. Okay, please, people, confirm that you can see the screen.
Yeah, I got this one.
Okay, so let's make it larger for old people like I am. Okay, okay, we're already 7 minutes late. So let's keep this one. No welcome, no brief share agenda. Okay, next one. AsyncAPI Conference 2025. Yes, I'm facilitator. So yes, first of all, we finally have sponsors and it's big. We have platinum sponsors. So we have IBM and Gravity. So Gravity sponsored us in the past, in the last year for the conference. So they also sponsor us this year, and IBM joined as well, which gives us like I think it's around $10,000 in total. So we will be able to sponsor travels to Async API conferences for the facilitators of the conferences. By the way, you know, there's this issue where we discuss the. I remember I opened. No, was it I? Or Tuli? Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, it's me. So there's also this issue where I finally want to write it basically down, the rules that apply to conferences, sponsorship, like priorities, and etc. So basically to have some more transparent rules on how to spend this money. I mean, it's not a lot, but we can at least sponsor a few people. Yes, we have call for speakers still open for Bangalore. I think it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks left, so please, people, don't wait last minute. I usually wait last minute with CFP, and I, for example, try I plan to submit, but I'll probably do it last minute. So, but yeah, still, I ask you, don't do it last minute. Don't be Łukasz. And just my opinion, my personal opinion, but also like because of I'm so long in the community and I know so many people from India and Bangalore that I think that's the best event of AsyncAPI this year. So it's good to be there. Many good people will be there. Agenda for Munich is out. Yes. Yes, free tickets. People, that's so I already shared with some people that I know that use AsyncAPI that are from Germany or Austria. So please, when you go to Munich, Germany, like so basically when you go to conference.asyncAPI.com and you go to venue and you go to Munich and you go to register now, you get the AsyncAPI Munich coupon by default. So you don't have to buy a ticket. You basically redeem the coupon and you get a free ticket to get to the event. And it's great because you're getting a free ticket not only to get to AsyncAPI conference, but also the whole API Days conference, which is 2 days long, because AsyncAPI is hosted as a co-conference at the API Days Munich. And I'll be there. So you're going to have a chance to meet me if you go. And also, we will have API standards booth there again. And I already know that one TSC member from JSON Schema will be there, Ben Hutton. Also, OpenAPI guys will be at the API booth, API standards booth. So you'll be able to talk without vendor. I mean, vendor neutral, in the vendor neutral space about specs. So yes, go to Munich, come to Munich. It's in like 2-3 weeks, something like this. Registrations for Lagos through the same website. You just click on and go to different venue. There will be also awesome speakers like, for example, Ace, who's on the call, but he's shy and not saying anything. Wow, so many things about conference. Conference funding documentation. Oh yeah, this is something I already mentioned. So like how we fund travels to AsyncAPI conference. Ace, do you want to say something about this one? Preparation for 2026 conference updates?
Yes, yes. Hey, folks. In as much as I would like to show my awesome face, I can't do that right now because I don't have power. So I'm literally on this meeting via my phone. Sorry about that, Lucas.
If you don't have power, like in Poland, we drink coffee and then we get more power. I love bad jokes. Anyway,
That's
continue.
funny.
Yeah, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, so awesome. So do you mind opening the issue?
Yeah, sorry. I was so fascinated by my dad joke that yeah, it's open.
Awesome. So we have developer week as part of the um, conferences for next year. So, I mean, you might be thinking, oh, it's not too early to start planning for next year. Yes, it is sort of early, but we just have to do it, right? Because we have developer week, which is gonna happen earlier next year. So we need to sort of like have everything in place, promotions and stuff. So we need to sort of, so we already had a discussion internally with the conference websites maintainers on how to go about this. And the problem we encountered was, we didn't want to like start preparing the whole conference website for 2026 because we still have 2025 ongoing. We still have venues that are still yet to happen. So we still need to like sort of keep 2025 while we prepare for 2026, right? But the only known location for next year so far is Developer Week, and it's going to happen earlier next year, like I mentioned. So we need to sort of figure out a way to, blend this to the current website. So we had a conversation and we agreed on designing like a pop-up, which I believe Maya is going to lead. Maya, do you have anything to say about that?
No, please go on. When I'm about to talk about the online conference, I'm going to mention that.
Okay, cool. So Maya, she's gonna help us with some design for how the pop-up should look. So basically, the pop-up is when you go to AsyncAPI.com, you get a pop-up. I'm sorry, conference.asyncAPI.com. You get a pop-up that shows you about the developer week. So if you're interested, you can then follow the link there, and it will basically take you to a separate page on the conference website where you find information about the developer week conference. So basically that is a pop-up. So once we have the design ready, we are going to do the implementation for the design, and then we're gonna have it live. I think we have a deadline. I think we have to make sure this is available before the end of this month. So we sort of have like make sure we have it ready. Hopefully the next community meeting, we can have something to share.
Okay, thank you for the update, Ace.
You're welcome, darling.
And yeah, so last but not least, Maya, you already mentioned online conference.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So please, could you share the yeah? What's the link? Okay. So hello folks. For this year, I'll be leading the online conference tax, working alongside with Tuli, as she's busy with the 2025 and the upcoming 2026 conference. So for the online conference, right, we have a few tasks to cover. We need designers for CFPs, or sponsors card, etc. Also, what else? So basically, these are the tasks for now. We are going to add more to it, and more explanations are going to be going on in the WG conference group on Slack. That's all from the online conference tasks.
Okay, thank you, Maya. So yeah, folks, just basically go to working group channel in Slack conference, WG_conference. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff from the design perspective that you can work on. Okay. That was a good speed up. So next topic, AsyncAPI community updates. Governance board. Yeah, that's my topic. So on Monday, we published an article, a blog post that kicked off the elections for the first governance board at AsyncAPI. It's a public call for vote, but of course it's let's say it's a limited to technical steering committee members. So we have 43 technical steering committee members. To be more precise, it's 40 maintainers and 3 ambassadors that can vote. And this vote is a bit different than usual voting. It's not automated. So me as a stepping down executive director, I'm actually just counting votes manually whenever they come in. So, for example, after this meeting, Ace and Maya, when they will decide to take a vote in this voting, they will just have to send me an email with 3 names of candidates that they feel should be the first governance board members for the first for the starter. So the governance board setup at AsyncAPI goal is to have always 5 members, but we don't want to always have 5 and then have election for another 5. We would like to always have this, like I'm not sure how to say it in English, but basically an overlap of cadence. So like so never exchange the whole board, but always have like 3 now. So now we select 3 members, and the follow-up 2 members will be selected in 1 year. So then in 2 years, when we make another elections, then the first 3 members, they, for example, if they all 3 resign, they don't want to be elected again, then we just exchange 3 board members, not the whole 5. Not sure if I would understand what I'm explaining if I wouldn't know what it's all about. But yeah, I encourage you to basically read our governance if I wasn't clear enough. But yeah, the most important is that's the most important stuff for the community now. Next 3 weeks, please take votes. We have 4 amazing candidates, actually. It's Fran who founded AsyncAPI, Franito, from a small, super hot region in Spain. Hugo, who's really long-term supporter of AsyncAPI as an ambassador, who's based in East US. We have Naresh, who's also a great supporter and ambassador of AsyncAPI, based in India. And last but not least, our Tuli, the community manager, based in South Africa. So we have like, I personally don't know yet how I'm gonna vote, because I would like to have all 4 people in the board. So yeah, please take a vote. And let's see how the initiative will evolve into even something much better after 6th of July. And the next item, start sharing your work to be featured in the blog and newsletter. Yeah, I think what Tuli meant here is basically, like remember that we, like the whole goal of AsyncAPI initiative is to build and scale AsyncAPI community. And we do it by basically giving you space to grow with the AsyncAPI community and promote your work. So basically, whenever you have something you've done for AsyncAPI, you wrote an article, you presenting somewhere, or like you did something that you'd like to share with a larger audience of AsyncAPI, then we have a dedicated channel in Slack called Newsletter. So please feel free, whenever you have something, go to the newsletter and share like that you'd like to feature something in the status blog post and the newsletter. Like, for example, I don't know, like some article about your experience with, I don't know, with contributing to AsyncAPI. Or for example, I was recently on my personal blog writing about how AsyncAPI was growing through organizing conferences. So for example, I'd like to share it as well through this channel. So yeah, just please folks remember that yeah, it's a community for the community. And 3:45, that should finish. Okay. Okay. That was good. So anything I did not mention, anything you'd like to ask? We have plenty of time because of my top level coordination and speeding up. So any questions, folks? No? Aminos? No?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, cool.
Pretty much good to, yeah.
Have you been here before? Because I mean, I just wanted to say I haven't been, but I've been, but I'm not always on the community meetings. So you probably were here, but I just wasn't. Or it's your first time?
No, I recently contributed to the governance with you. If you remember, we had a lot of talk with board and I contributed to the community, recently contributing to website, right? Gotcha.
Okay,
Yeah.
this Aminos. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so one thing to remember about me, I'm really bad with names and text. I remember faces, pictures. So now when you say what you were, no, it's not about being old. Just commenting on ageism. It's just because some people just are good with text and some people with pictures. I'm just good with pictures. So when Amino said what he's working on, now I see his picture from Slack and I know who I'm talking to. Okay, how to ban somebody? Report, probably. Okay, so yeah, then by the way, thanks Aminos for the work you're doing related to the board setup. So it's gonna be much easier to complete the voting.
Sure, in your guidance.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing a lot of guidance, but not always having contributors that actually follow guidance. So yeah. So yeah. Anyway, thank you.
It's okay. I always love to hear you.
Okay.
To being working with you. Yeah.
Thank you. So, you, Maya, Ace, nothing? Ace, did you make coffee already?
No.
Do you drink coffee anyway, in general?
Yeah, of course, I drink coffee, cold, ice,
It's not that.
hot.
Okay, so let's try to keep you as long as possible on the call. What should I invent to talk about?
Oh, I should have said we don't have coffee.
You drink
we don't-
Milo.
I should have said we don't have coffee in this part of the world. I don't even know what coffee is.
It's a catch. I'm afraid to engage with your comments. So I'm gonna ignore it and just keep thinking about your ageism approach. So 2 minutes left. I'm gonna leave you at 5:30. By the way, it's 5:30, of course, for my time zone. Okay, 2 minutes left. Nothing really? No questions about board selections? I don't know, conference? No? Hey, Smaya, why didn't you vote yet? Ha, ha, that's a good
Same
question.
reason why you have not voted.
Sorry, did you say that you voted?
No, I said the same reason why you have not voted yet.
I mean, I'm asking why you did not vote yet.
Yes, that's my answer. Like that's the same reason why I've not voted yet.
But what's the reason? I don't get it.
Okay. So actually, I didn't understand how the voting was supposed to be like until you explained it here now, right? Because I was like, oh, can I vote for more than one person,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Just I just look into the article, but basically, yes. So we have 4 candidates, and you provide names of 3, and the let's because I don't remember the name of it. But because there are technically different systems for voting, like even in the US, it's so crazy with the voting. But when we were working on the governance last few months, I proposed we do first past the post, which basically means that's the system where, let's say you, Maya, vote for 3 names, and Ace vote for another 3 names, and I vote for another 3 names. And then if, let's say there's a candidate, we have so in the article, we have example candidate A, candidate B, candidate C, and candidate D. So if, for example, we all vote like you, me, and Ace on, for example, candidate A, then candidate A gets 3 votes. And then if we all vote for candidate B, then candidate B get also 3 votes. And then let's say you and me vote for candidate D, and Ace votes for candidate D. C. Wait, me and Maya D, Ace C. So then candidate D obviously have to Ace, stop laughing. So obviously it means that the candidate D have 2 votes, and candidate C from Ace has just 1 vote. So basically the election ends with selecting A, B, and D. Because in total, first past the post, so basically people with the largest amount of votes will pass, will win. So it's the simplest. I think it's the simplest system we could select. So yeah,
Okay. So let's say the first 3 they have like the same number of votes. That means they are automatically the board members, right?
of course, if
Regardless of who has the highest.
yes, exactly. So who has the highest, they become board members. Yeah. And of course, we have 43 people who can vote. The candidates can also vote. So
Okay.
of course, the more people vote, the more complex the numbers get. But yeah, so basically that's what you sent me in the email. That's, I mean, not me, but you send it to info because this article describes how I persist all the votes. So later on, the governance board, when they join and get access to the mailbox, they can verify if I wasn't cheating for my candidate or whatever. So all the votes are not public, but they are of course available for counting by the GB. So that's the only thing you're sending over email. So you say I vote for, and you provide the name of 3 candidates out of the 4 candidates presented.
Okay. So what happens to the executive director now? He's not going to be part of the board anymore.
No, there will be no longer executive director.
Mm.
We're getting rid of me. So there's no executive director. There will be a board of 3 and then 5 people. And of course, there always have to be somebody who's representing and coordinating the work. So it's called a chairperson. So basically, the governance board, once it's selected, they will choose who's the chairperson. So basically, the person that will organize meetings and communicate changes, whatever. But yeah, it's so basically I don't like to say we're getting rid of executive director. We're actually just evolving and splitting the role into the 3 and then eventually into 5 people, because there's basically too much work to do. I do it alone, and it's like full-time job, and of course, it's full-time unpaid job. So it's really much better if it's split.
Yeah, that's fine.
But just to clarify, of course, I'm not going anywhere. It's just that I will not be a director anymore, but I'm still maintainer. Okay. I think it's enough, I guess. Let me just quickly check if anybody is commenting in YouTube. No. Okay. So thank you so much for attending. Even though some of you came in without power. And see you in 2 weeks. Actually not.
Yes.
Probably not. Is it in 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
What am I doing in 2 weeks? Okay, I'm not gonna see you in 2 weeks, because in 2 weeks I'm gonna be in Munich for AsyncAPI conference. So I won't be able to join. But the meeting will happen, of course. It's just that you won't have the pleasure of having me.
I actually have a question.
I mean, okay, if you have to.
So I mean, like, we always have these conferences, happening around the globe and stuff. There ever been a discussion about maybe live streaming some of these events?
Yes. I mean, you asked the question, I answered. You have to ask a follow-up question if you want to hear more.
Okay, so what's the status? Is, like, for example, like, what does it take for we to like have a live stream of an event?
So it's all about, it's all about money, basically. Because so majority, like, actually no, so 2025, sorry. So this year, 100% of conferences are hosted by API days. API days do not live stream conference. No, nothing is live streamed. There are even no recordings. So basically, these conferences work in the way the API days basically is organized in the way that you So I know it as a speaker from previous editions. So basically, when I'm presenting at Async API conference that is hosted by API Days, I present it live at the event, but I also get a API Days gives me a setup that I can follow to record my talk as well. So they later on can publish on YouTube after the conference. So asynchronously, like really later. But if we want to sponsor live streaming, having someone who's recording and streaming live and doing high quality, then of course we can do it. But you can imagine it's a lot of money. We could explore and like so. Basically, I can basically give you another answer what I've seen. So once in Paris, we had one guy from Apollo, the Apollo from GraphQL. So the company that is doing a lot of GraphQL tooling. So they're pro, but of course, it's not Async API because Apollo is basically a startup with a lot of funding. So they basically had their own camera guy who was recording the speaker and live. I think he was even live streaming. Or maybe not live streaming, but just recording and then sharing publicly. But you can imagine like it's another person that will do the recording, knows how to record, has equipment, which is a lot of money. We cannot afford this. So what we're basically doing is also always Tuli is chasing speakers to make sure that they also record the talk. And then she has playlists on our YouTube channel with the recordings. Yeah, and that's why we also like Tuli basically had this idea to also do online event, to also have this at least one event a year where we are accessible everywhere. Okay, it was a good question, but because of you, we took another 5 minutes of the meeting. Any other questions? And by the way, like if there's anybody listening and has a lot of money and would like to invest in the recording and live streaming of our events,
Yes.
I can send you a link to Open Collective. Or even you can pay me like
And you become the camera guy?
sure.
Yeah. What do you know about camera?
I would be trained
By who?
by whoever's paying.
Okay, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Yeah, regarding the conference funding, right?
Mhm.
So for the same continent travel, it was mentioned that it's 500 USD, right? Do we have like a list of what that covers? For transportation, accommodation? Does it also cover something like feeding and stuff like that for speakers, or how does it work?
I would say everything related to travel. So we don't have it yet documented, but it's basically whatever is related to your travel, as long as, I mean, if you can fit it, like, or maybe let me answer differently. We already know that 500 is not enough, even for one continent. And it really doesn't matter which continent, because many people, of course, ignorance, they don't know, for example, how huge Africa is, and they might think 500 is like small, but then you have to realize that there's a lot of flying involved because of the size of the continent. So even in Africa, I know that $500 is not enough. For Europe, it's also not enough. So it really depends how you organize. Some people have chance to share accommodation. So for example, what I did with Paris last year, I was emceeing the conference in Paris. So I was paid by AsyncAPI $500 to travel to Paris. And you can imagine, Paris is not the cheapest one. So my flight was, I think, $300. And then accommodation was much more. So of course, 500 was the max I could claim. I paid much more, but still not that much if that I could pay because I was sharing Airbnb apartment with Fran, with Ben from Jason Schema, and one friend from API realm. So we made the accommodation cheaper, let's say. So we don't have yet list exactly what it is, but it's for sure everything related to travel. So if you have to pay for whatever transportation, that should be covered. So you could include receipts for these costs. Accommodation. So if you have to have a hotel, motel, whatever, and you have a receipt that you can share in the reimbursement claim in Open Collective, then of course that's going to be counted. Food, if you had receipts, then that should be counted. Taxi, whatever. Like so, basically, whatever you had to do to get to the event, whatever you had to pay for. But the max is 500, and cross continent it's 1,000, I think. And it's not yet written in stone. It's just what we followed. So so basically, yeah, 500 was what so far I claimed for Paris. And for example, now Munich, I also will claim 500, even though it's not gonna be enough because I have to drive from my car because there's a lot of swags that I have to carry, a few swags boxes from the old shop. So yeah, it's it is what it is.
Okay, yeah. Do we have swags coming to Lagos as well for the conference in July?
Except of we need to get someone print cheat sheets, and maybe we could pay for stickers. No, because the the whole store that I have now in my place, I actually got some questions from people like what to do them with, what to do with them, like not to do with, what to do with them. Like basically, I got questions like if I can send them, for example, some swags to one person in India, and then we can ask this person to distribute inside India to mentors, whatever. And yeah, the problem is our experience with sending to like across the border outside Europe, it's always so insanely expensive. Like like for simple packages to India, we had to pay like $500 sometimes, sometimes $1,000 just for getting it through customs and taking them to someone. So we choose we decided that everything that was in the store, it will be distributed at the conferences in Europe because that's all at my house now. And I hope to get rid of it as soon as possible because it's taking a lot of space. But basically, inside Europe, it's very cheap. We have like, even in Poland, we have a lot of cheap transportation solutions where I can, for example, for London or for Paris as well, I can pay like probably 100 euro will be maximum to get the whole box of swags to one of these locations. So we will basically use these swags to power the local conferences. And if it comes to AsyncAPI Bangalore, AsyncAPI Lagos, or any other, like we did, for example, with AsyncAPI Singapore, it's mainly cheat sheets. So we basically, for example, in Singapore, Bami printed cheat sheets on her own, and then we reimbursed. She, of course, showed the receipt from the printing company, and then we reimbursed the printing on the cheat sheets. So yeah, that's what I would say we need for Lagos for sure. Cheat sheets, a lot of cheat sheets, and stickers probably as well would be nice. Of the new stickers, but
Yeah, the
that's
sponsor stickers, yeah.
yeah. But we just basically, I mean, it really depends on the costs. So if you have some good agency, local agency, you can trust that they do good quality stickers, and you can check what's the price. Let's have a look. If it's not gonna be some big costs, then let's get some stickers with this new mascots.
Okay. I'll also
Mm.
check from my side.
Okay.
So I have a question. So is there some sort of like legal consequence?
Hey,
Sorry.
Legal
Is there some
consequence
sort
of what?
of like legal consequences like for someone like if you want to like print your own t-shirts or make like some hoodies, like you're covering the cost, right? It's your money. So can you do that?
You mean if, for example, you can print your own T-shirt with AsyncAPI, and you don't have to be afraid that some police will knock on your door and rip the T-shirt off your body?
No.
So legally, but I don't even think we have to mention it. But yeah, legally, let's explain in detail. So AsyncAPI, this like few years ago, I don't remember exactly now, when was it? 3-4 years ago. Fran basically donated for free the whole brand, AsyncAPI trademark basically, to Linux Foundation. So now legally and on patent side, everything is owned by Linux Foundation. And Linux Foundation, of course, is protecting the trademark a lot. But they, of course, do it when it's, it's like some companies crossing the boundaries. Like they, for example, start selling something that they call AsyncAPI, and they use our logo, and they claim that they do AsyncAPI. And then it's illegal. They do it without license from Linux Foundation, and they basically don't follow the trademark rules. But if it comes to us, if we want to basically take the logo and on our own spend money on stuff and print some clothing or print whatever for ourselves, nobody's gonna chase you for it. Even I did. Like when we were having much less sponsors than these days, like a few years ago, and we didn't have yet Swag Store, etc. And I, for example, like red color a lot. So what I did is basically I bought on my own a hoodie, a red hoodie, and I got a Sync API white logo printed on the hoodie, and I wear it, and still alive. No lawyers called me. So you can do really whatever you want. I mean, of course, Maya will now tell out loud, hey, the brand, you should watch out. The brand guidelines, of course. So respect the brand guidelines. But again, if you're just printing it on your stuff, then do it. I mean, it's as simple as going to some agency and paying them like, I don't know what's the amount for the hoodie, giving them designs so they print it on the hoodie, and that's it.
Neat.
And we can always be proactive. Like, so if you know someone, because I don't follow that much because I'm not gonna be in Lagos, so I don't follow who's gonna travel, will be there as well, etc. If you know some European that is traveling to Lagos, then I can always sync with them. Maybe I can send some swags from the swag store, so this person can bring them to Lagos. For example, if I manage to get funding for, let's say I apply for AsyncAPI Bangalore as a speaker and I get accepted, and somebody will pay for my travels, then of course I'm gonna, on my own even, pay for extra luggage and then fill it max with the AsyncAPI swags to bring it in. So we don't use it only in Europe. We can also bring it to other locations. So we can, like the cool stuff about Async APIs is that we're not a company, so we don't have to follow any whatever rules. We're flexible. So it's all
There's a
about the
question in
yes.
the
Sorry, you
there's
had
a
a question?
about, yeah. There's a
What?
question in the chat here.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
GitHub Campus Expert, Red Hoodie. But did you print it on your own, or you just comment that you also like red, as I like red, which is good. Red is nice, and it's 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 a bull's color. Yeah, like in Spain
Zalo, come
or
on.
do they do it also in US? The corrida.
Mhm.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, they do it.
You're fighting the bulls with the red. Yeah. So I was born in May 13th, which is my zodiac is the bull, or whatever is the name of the zodiac, but basically representing the
The
bull.
bull.
So that's why I like red,
Look at the bull.
the bull, the bald bull.
Oh, what?
BB. So yes, we managed to make a 30 minutes meeting 55 minutes long. Not sure if it's something we should be proud of, but that's what we achieved today. So, any more questions? 5 minutes left, 4 minutes left. No? Did I share a link to the notes? Actually, oh, I didn't. So that's the link where the notes will be published. Of course, AI notes. I'm so sad that nobody commented in YouTube.
Yeah,
But
sort of
we
late.
got one like, I guess.
Sorry?
We got some like, I guess. I mean, we got a like in YouTube.
Oh, we got a like.
Yeah.
Where? In YouTube?
Yep.
A
And the
like,
second
like.
one is of mine.
Wow. Let's see LinkedIn. We're getting some positive vibes. One like.
Not bad.
Okay, no likes on LinkedIn, but now I'm gonna like it. So one like from me. That's how you build up the legend. Okay, time to go. It was good to not see you because you did not enable your cameras, but it was good to hear you folks. So again, it was a pleasure.
Anyhow.
Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your days. Not shit. It sounded bad. Not days, but day. Not like today. Not that your days are short. Yeah. Anyway, cheers.
It's okay, man.